Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, I can get with that, can you? You Can Get With That Juice is a 9% double IPA from Ellison Brewery and Spirits in East Lansing, Michigan. Ellison's known for doing a lot of different styles. They do IPAs really well, they have their own stouts, they have their own line of sours. They're also going to be expanding a lot here pretty soon, even out of state. Now, one of the beers I've been hearing a lot about for a long time is this one, Can You Get With That Juice? So let's take a look at the label. I'm really anxious to get into it. We'll get it into a glass. Fun fact, I'm getting close to 1,000 subs. When I do, I'll be doing a huge Q&A video. You can call and leave me voicemail questions at 224-DRAFT20 or 224-372-3820. You can also email me at sean@drafttherapy.com. I'll take all your questions. I'll pick somebody at random and do a giveaway. I'm going to give away some Draft Therapy merch, maybe some shirts. I got new stickers, magnets, maybe some other stuff. So write in all those questions. Maybe I'll do a live stream. Maybe I'll do a video. I'm not sure just yet, but I'll do something and someone's going to win something, which I think is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the label here and then we'll get it into a glass like I said before. This is really just kind of looks like a lot of Ellison's other labels. And again, I think that Cohesion doing a label that is just, they do different colors for different beers. I think that's a really good idea because then there's no confusion when you see the Ellison name, you see the state and the capital right on the front, you say, okay, that's a pretty quality beer because Ellison stands behind some pretty quality beers. And this one says, like their other ones, just has a simple label. It says, You Can Get With That Juice. Again, has the state capitol building on it. And on the bottom, it says, Drink fresh and from the can. We're not going to do that here today. I'm going to pour this into a glass, but it says, brewed and packaged by Ellison Brewery and Spirits in East Lansing, Michigan, has their website, ellisonbrewing.com. This is 1 pint, 9% alcohol by volume, a double India Pale Ale, and obviously has all the deposit information and the government warning. I don't see the independent craft beer logo here on it, but we'll give them a pass. So I'm going to use my Draft Therapy Tiku glass here. And there is no expiration date on this. Now, I'm pretty sure this is at least within the last month or two because they've been posting a lot about this on social media, about them redistributing this beer because there was a little bit of an absence for it from the market. And at 9%, a double IPA, I'm expecting it to be pretty big on flavor. So let's give it a smell out of the can here. Put a nose on it. Yeah, that smells like an IPA, all right. Getting some citrusy notes. A little bit of dankness. I'm not sure what kind of hops were used in this. Let's go ahead and pour this. It's coming out kind of a thicker yellow color out of the can. It looked pretty thick just coming out of the can here. And that is a really reddish, kind of orangish colored beer with a really thin head. I tried to pour it a little bit aggressively to get more of that head to come out, but I'm getting less than a half finger, maybe a quarter, if that's such a thing as a quarter finger worth of head. And let's hold this up to the light. But the head that is there is kind of sticking around. It's not dissipating very much, but it's really small bubbles. And looking at it, that is haze. I mean, that is like, I see the shadow from about right here. There's a slight shadow. It gets obviously a little bit darker. There's no definition on the fingers. Totally opaque. You're not going to see through that at all. So let's get a better nose here out of the glass. It has a bit of a sweet aroma to it. Maybe some citrus. I'm not getting a whole lot of aroma here. It does smell sweet though, kind of candied citrus. It has a really sweet smell to it. So I'm ready to dive right into this. Cheers. Wow. That is very juicy, very kind of sticky mouthfeel. It's a tad heavier, a tad syrupy, a tad heavier than a medium mouthfeel. It's not syrupy, it's not super thick, but it has this very kind of viscous kind of quality to it. It's very like a borderline syrupy. Big time juice though. Very juicy. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's not overly sweet. It's not something, it doesn't taste like something that's been overly, you know, a lot of lactose has been added to it or anything like that. It's got just a sweet kind of citrusy kind of tropical flavor to it. Very juicy though. I'm not getting a whole lot of bitterness, but there is this kind of maybe overlying layer of booziness to it. The bitterness kind of comes in when you roll it in your mouth right before the swallow. And then there's a little bit of bitterness, and I think that booziness is adding to it. A little bit of bitterness on the tail end as well that kind of sticks around with you in the aftertaste. It kind of hangs in there. See if I can get more kind of flavor out of this. I feel like I'm picking up on the tail, if I roll it around, just a real slight mango flavor in there. Has a lot of citrus. The bitterness that's in there is a bit of a citrus bitterness, maybe a tiny tad of a earthy kind of quality to it as well. Yeah, but I get, like I said, I do get a little bit of a mango kind of quality on the tail end as it kind of sits on my tongue, and I just kind of roll it around in there and let it warm up in my mouth. And that heavy mouthfeel, man, this is super dangerous. This is 9%. Again, I'm getting kind of that boozy quality out of this. It reminds me a little bit of this guy from Witch's Hat and a little bit of Flavorful 5 from Roke. It has kind of similar qualities to those two. I think Flavorful 5 has a little bit more of a boozy quality to it. And I think that Witch's Hat's this guy has a little bit more of a sweeter quality to it. I believe they add lactose to that one. I could be wrong on that, but I think that they add a little bit of a lactose to kind of sweeten that up. This tastes like it could have something like that in this. I'm not sure what exactly, you know, there's not a whole bunch on the label here to tell you, but this does not, the name does not lie. This is a lot of juice. This is, you gotta be able to get with the juice to be able to drink this. But again, overall, as it warms, I'm getting a little bit more bitterness, a little bit more of that boozy quality. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of a lactosey kind of flavor in there as well. Kind of that telltale milk sugar kind of flavor. But this is super dangerous. 9%. Wow, that's, for being something this smooth, while it has that boozy bite to it, it is super smooth. So I could see myself, you know, drinking a couple of these and not, you know, hey, you know, it takes a little bit of time for it to catch up to you. But I think when it does catch up to you, it's going to hit you really quick. This is definitely one, if you like Ellison's other beers, the Evolution series, for example, or if you like a lot of their New England style inspired or whatever you want to call it, IPAs, this is one that I think would be, you know, this is one that you should seek out. The next one I want to try, and I actually have a couple cans of it, is Hazenstein. I would like to see how those two, this and that one, kind of, you know, measure up against each other, because I haven't had Hazenstein yet, but this definitely passes my test with flying colors. This would be one that I would drink a lot of, and one that I will be seeking out more of in the future. All right, friends, that has been Can You Get With That Juice? Have you had this, or do you have another favorite beer from Ellison? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like Michigan beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about Michigan beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'd hate for you to miss out on your next favorite because you weren't subscribed to the channel. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, enter that giveaway to get yourself some free stuff. Drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.